Marvel Rising is an animated series that nobody talks about because nobody knows about it thanks to Marvel doing a piss poor job of promoting it. This is a weird beast because not only has it been forgotten, spending the rest of its days lingering on the Disney Plus recommendation feed, but the episodes are split up into specials, which is confusing. Not only do you have to pull up the official order to watch the specials in to get the complete story, but some of these specials are just 20 minutes, so why not make them all part of one series of multi-parters splitting up the longer specials? So instead of giving the people what they want and continuing to review the 2017 Spider-Man cartoon or look at another episode of OKKO. Seriously, when did this become a most popular video? Let's take a look at Marvel Rising, special by special. They're not even special if all the episodes are specials! Initiation is a series of shorts that follows Gwen Stacy / Ghost Spider being chased by both cops and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents for seemingly killing her best friend when she didn't. This serves as a way to introduce her and the other main characters like Daisy, Patriot, Ms.Marvel, and Squirrel Girl. Gwen's parts in this story are short, but are really solid, as she gets a lot of witty banter, especially in fights with Patriot, but she gets just as much moments of pathos with the guilt she has of losing her friend to a supervillain. My only major complaint for these shorts is that Ms.Marvel and Squirrel Girl have some hit and miss jokes, but story-wise, they serve their purpose well. Before we get into the meat of this series, I want to talk about the animation. It's more expressive than Spider-Man 2017, but has the same overall style. However, the coloring is way better than that show, so it makes it infinitely more watchable. Anyway, on to the biggest special, Secret Warriors, a TV movie that brings most of the team together, minus Ghost Spider. There's rough patches to be sure, like a few jokes that don't hit, some of the younger heroes have iffy scenes idolizing their superiors, and occasionally a cheesy pop song made for the show will play over an exciting scene. I didn't mind this, as I'm a sucker for cheesy hero music and it helps give the show its own flair, but I understand why some may not be up for it. Besides that, each character is established well and has entertaining banter with one another, so you can buy them as a team. Daisy is the leader, Patriot is the no-nonsense serious guy, America Chavez is the brute force, Squirrel Girl is the comic relief, and Ms.Marvel is the voice of reason. Unfortunately, the new additions to the team, Inferno, really only interacts with the villain and Ms.Marvel, so while his backstory gets established, his dynamics of the team don't get as much time to be fleshed out. There's also an elephant in the room I need to mention: the Inhumans. This was clearly written and released around the time Marvel was trying to replace the X-Men mutants with the Inhumans because 20th Century Fox owned the license for most X-Men properties. However, it's not that annoying here, as a lot of the main characters like Inferno, America Chavez, Ms.Marvel, and Daisy are Inhumans, so it makes sense they would be brought up and play an important role in the series. Secret Warriors was a good start with a promising setup, though it works better as a small part of the larger Marvel Rising series than its own TV movie in my opinion. Chasing Ghosts is focused on the newly formed Secret Warriors getting their footing as a team while clearing up the name of Ghost Spider. The Ghost Spider stuff is interesting as usual, but the B-plot of this adventure follows Patriot learning to trust his gut instead of playing by some arbitrary rules with the help of Squirrel Girl. The two had some good interactions in Secret Warriors, and they worked just as well here as they did there. Also, the Million Fist Hurricane they were building up to was such a letdown. Other than that, it's a pretty good special. Heart of Iron introduces Riri Williams to the team, and I haven't read her comic appearances yet, but I like her a lot in this episode. The first flashback was a bit awkward with the whole "I could have saved my father if math was correct" line, but the second one was much better. Though this special feels padded. This is 40 minutes and it could have easily been condensed into 20 and still get everything across. Heart of Iron is solid, but I wish it was shorter. Battle of the Bands is a team fighting against a supervillain known as Screaming Mimi, who uses the power of sound to terrorize the city. This is a much simpler adventure than the last few, and I like it. It didn't feel the need to introduce a new character like the last few, and instead gave us a good old-fashioned stop the villain plot with fun character banter. It all ends in a wholesome manner, and it's pretty cool that Gwen sings the song at the end when her voice actress, Dove Cameron, does all the vocal tracks for this series. Operation Shuri is my least favorite Marvel Rising special. I think my dislike comes from the trope the story's based around. Being, new character comes into town and does everything better than our main characters. It's just not that entertaining, and there's no conflict or villain to push the story forward. I really want to like this one, but I just can't. And then we have the final special, Playing with Fire. This one is about Inferno getting his power stolen by a supervillain and deciding if he should come home to his family after accidentally burning down their house when he first got his powers. I thought this special would make me like Inferno, but I'm still indifferent to him. His characterization is boring, which is a shame because he has a good concept of his backstory, but that's not enough to make me be entertained by him. Oddly, the highlight of the special was America Chavez, who had some great drama about being jealous of everyone's family when she doesn't have one anymore. Even with that, this was a low note to end the series on, though to be fair, it probably wasn't intended to be the end. And that's all of the Marvel Rising specials. The conclusion? Marvel Rising is fun. Not phenomenal, but I like the ideas behind it, even if the execution wasn't always on point. I think if Marvel Animation wasn't going through some behind-the-scenes shakeups that had them cancel everything they were working on and could create more Marvel Rising specials, they could have gotten better and better, but at last, the series hasn't produced any new content since 2019, so it's probably debunked at this point. Even so, it was interesting to look at a forgotten Marvel cartoon and see that maybe it deserves a second chance despite its faults. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the show, make sure to tip your waiters, and I'll see you in the next one.